morning here on Talk 99.5 and Talk995.com. It is the 3rd of April of 2026. Got ourselves a lovely day today, 84 for a high. Got a little mist on the windshield on the way into work today. I don't know
I
how
did too. Yeah, same thing.
We may see another little chance of shower somewhere down the line, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. Tomorrow afternoon/evening is when it really kicks in. We'll have an 85-degree day before that, so that'll be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy that, and then
And it really chills down.
taper off. Yeah, it's gonna. We got a cold front coming in behind the storms. Those storms will really hit hard in the late evening hours, 10 o'clock or later, and then by about who knows, 8 o'clock Easter morning, they could be gone.
Yep, moving to East Alabama and over into Georgia. So we may have a pretty decent Easter Sunday and not full of rain.
8, 9, 10, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see exactly when those things move out of the area, and it will be chilly, but then we're looking at low 70s for the first couple of days after that, Monday, Tuesday, et cetera, et cetera. So pretty nice, pretty good spring here thus far underway. If we can avoid the major storms, the tornadic activity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, we'll consider that a win.
Absolutely.
For sure. Let's talk about my buddy Jack Granger Thagard Auction Marketing. They've got a big auction coming up on the 16th of April. It is in Kimberly, and it is 3 distinct plots of land. You can buy all 3 of them, and then it would be one really big plot, but you can buy just one if you so desire. There's one that has a big house on it, very nice, lots of amenities. It's a 5-bedroom, 3.5 bath, a beautiful, beautiful place. Then there's a barn on another, stables in the third, and overall, you're looking at maybe you could divide this up and put a lot of houses on it if you wanted to do a subdivision kind of thing, or you could just put your own house on it and live on a nice 21, 25, 19-acre spot there, however you want to do it. This is, once again, April the 16th, 1 p.m. It's in Kimberly, and you should go to gtauctions.com to find out more about it. gtauctions.com. Find out how the whole auction process works. Be one of the people who's there, cash at the ready, prepared to buy one or all 3, or maybe just 2 of these properties when they go up for auction. April 16th in Kimberly, 1 p.m. Once again, gtauctions.com to find out more.
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
Well, on Thursday, Donald Trump posted a video showing U.S. forces destroying sections of a major bridge running near the Iranian capital city of Tehran. He said, boy, it's going to be difficult for them to use this thing to transport drones to launch sites and things of that nature now that we've taken this bridge out. To which Iran said, well, we'll attack some bridges of yours. How about that? With
Okay,
what?
well, yeah, there's not much left.
With what? Yeah, you think you're going to lob some missiles over and attack bridges in neighboring countries? By the way, you're ticking off the neighboring countries. They might have been on your side or at least been neutral until you started bombing them. Now they're like, you know what? Now we are mad. And we're not mad at the U.S. We're mad at Iran. Trump says, look, this is just the beginning. We got a lot more to go. 2-3 more weeks of this. We're going to destroy all the important bridges. We're going to destroy all of the electrical grid. We're going to take out all your power plants. Just giving you a little heads up on what you can expect over the course of the next couple of weeks. Or you could come to the table and negotiate, and we would be done with this.
Yeah, but they're not going to do that.
No,
And even flying some of those B-52 bombers over Iran.
Yeah.
We're the war is still underway, and we're just waiting for them to, again, come to the table and try to negotiate the end of this. And if they're not going to do that, then, as Trump said, another 2-3 weeks, we're done with this. We will complete the mission. We will complete knowing wherever they've got things hidden in bunkers underground. We're going to destroy it all, and we're still doing that right now.
Every bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
Pam Bondi has been fired as Attorney General, and they're looking potentially at Lee Zeldin as the next Attorney General, although nothing has been made official. It's understood that the EPA director and one-time candidate for governor of New York would be the right guy for the job. If so, then you got to get a new EPA director, which means you got to get approval on that as well. No real word. I mean, you can trust the leaks if you want to. There are some who say Trump was unhappy with the way that Pam Bondi handled the Epstein situation. It could be that he feels like some of the folks who should be prosecuted for things like the Russia collusion hoax. She's not looking at. I trust her, actually. She's really has been good and pretty even-handed. But, yeah, there's no point in indicting someone if there is zero chance that you're going to get a conviction.
Mm-hmm. And I think she knows that, and she's looked at this, and I know what Donald Trump wants to have happen. And sometimes when things don't go exactly his way, then he's looking at heads to roll, and it just so happens to be that it's going to be Pam Bondi.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, putting Lee Zeldin or someone else in there, new eyes on that situation is really going to change it. Lee may say the same thing to the president. We don't have enough here. There's no way to prosecute this person because of X, Y, Z. So, I don't. Again, we're not behind the scenes. We don't know exactly what's going on, but we knew from the Epstein case there was going to probably be some trouble for Pam Bondi going forward, and here it is.
And we're hearing some really funny stuff out of the Trump haters out there. People are saying, like, well, he had her, pulled her off of some of these other cases so that she could go through the Epstein files and redact his name throughout the course of the entire thing.
Good heavens.
You think that he did that and then he fired her, knowing full well that she could just come out and go, let me tell you what he did. Of course he didn't. Don't be silly. That didn't happen. I know you want it to have happened, but if his name was all over the Epstein files, we would have found that out like 8 years ago, most likely.
Sure.
Everybody calm down. Okay, so we saw that the ballroom was stopped by an activist judge here not too long ago. There was a judge who said, no, I'm sorry, you cannot build the ballroom attached to the east wing of the White House. We will not allow it. You didn't get approval from Congress. All of that is moot and silly, and it's going to get overturned on appeal with great certainty. However, what it hadn't had, it didn't get the approval of the building council, whose job is to go over this stuff and see whether or not this is like this fit the decor, does this fit the land. They finally did, and they did finally approve it. They did so yesterday, but there were a couple of people, even though it was unanimous approval, there were some people who voiced a little concern on that panel. They were like, it is pretty big.
Yeah, well, it should be.
Yeah.
I mean,
it shouldn't be bigger than the White House itself, though.
No,
I mean,
it shouldn't be bigger than that.
Seems
but
a little big.
Let's we have an opportunity here, and again, it's not coming out of taxpayer money; it's privately funded. Let's give them an opportunity to do something kind of special at the White House. Now,
well,
you can have a lot more people.
Trump didn't design it, obviously, but he did have somebody who he has worked with in the past design it, and they know what he likes. Which is two
things. A lot
things.
Of gold.
Big and gaudy. Yeah, he likes them big and he likes them gaudy. That's pretty much, it's the difference of how he likes his women, smaller and quiet. But yeah, he definitely likes big and gaudy. So we haven't seen the plans. I haven't seen the plans. Apparently it's difficult to tell the size and if it's really going to dwarf the White House. I don't think it will. But they say it's big enough that it really does distract from the entire picture. Okay, I get it. Anything new is going to come across as odd, right? If you put an addition on your house tomorrow, especially if you've lived in that house for a long time, you throw an addition on, you could drive right past your house on the way home, just be like, I forgot we put the addition on. Didn't notice that. It's happened, okay? But yikes. If you've got a couple of members on this commission who are going, it's a little on the large side.
Well, and again, if you're talking comparatively how things look in D.C., when you talk about a ballroom, you want to be able to put a few thousand people in there.
That's the whole point.
It can't be, small size.
No.
I mean, the last thing we want are tents up, like we talked about.
Right. There's no point.
They've had to set those up, and I'm like, that is terrible.
I agree. There's no point in making one so small that you can't use it.
So if you're going to do it, you got one shot here. Let's do it right.
Do it right.
Do it big. Do it big.
Go big or go home. 8:15, Dixon inviting Mr. P's Grilling Tip coming your way next. The tour is back on. Brian Setzer's health problems seem to have subsided, and the Stray Cats are going to hit the road. They're coming nowhere near us.
That's a shame.
They are completely
Fun.
skipping over the Deep South.
Ah, no
I have
love.
no idea why.
No love.
I mean, man, we like our rockabilly down here. Martini Shakers are playing at Ferris here coming up the end of this month, I want to say.
Yeah.
Some good
I
rockabilly.
like Ferris.
there.
I really love that atmosphere
It's
and
a cool
feel
place.
out there. It is cool.
Place. 819, call it 820, Dixon Inviting, Talk 99.5, talk99.5.com.
Well, here is some fun for you. Talking with Craig yesterday over at Birmingham Broker. He's started a new business within Birmingham Broker, and it's all about electric bikes. And I'm talking like dirt bikes, not like you get on and you pedal. No, not that. BB Electric Moto. The grand opening is coming up April the 11th. E-Motos, super cool. They've got 50-plus bikes to pick from, 6-plus top brands. You want to get out the outdoors and enjoy some fun with your family. Each of you may be getting one of these electric motorbikes, BB Electric Moto. Go see them. Go check it out at Birmingham Broker. And by the way, Craig is also saying, listen, if you've got a used car, truck, or SUV that's sitting in the driveway, let's get that thing sold. His inventory is a little bit low, so he's looking for vehicles to move and move quickly. And what's nice is you don't have to sell your car yourself. Don't trade it in. You'll lose some money on that deal. There is no question about that. Let Craig go to work for you and get as much equity out of that car as he possibly can. He's very good at this. So if you have a truck, you're ready to do something different. Maybe you need an SUV and you've got a sedan and you're ready to move that thing, take it to Birmingham Broker. Go visit him. Check out those e-bikes. Super cool. He's in downtown Birmingham, 2224 4th Avenue South. Look him up, bhambroker.com.
8:21 and time for a Mr. P's Grill and Tip. Mr. P's Butcher Shop and Deli, 813 Shadesgrass Road in beautiful Bluff Park. Great place to go get yourself some fabulous meats. They've got a meat special with your name on it. This is meat special number 3. 2 12-ounce ribeye steaks, 3 1-pound packs of Mr. P's ground steak, 2 8-ounce bacon-wrapped filet mignon steaks, 1 pound of Mr. P's filet mignon tender tips, 1 pack of 2 6-ounce boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and a 16-ounce bottle of Pilatary's marinade, all for $136.99. A truly great deal in these times when you're worried about the cost of food and meat. Mr. P's has got your back because they can really make things happen for you over there. I want to talk about these filet mignon tender tips. People wonder, what exactly are we dealing with? What is that? Well, in order to trim up a filet so that it looks nice, you end up with sometimes some bits and pieces left over. Now, sometimes they use that and they grind it into their ground steak. Other times they take those tender tips and they just bag them up and they sell them to you, as put them in these meat specials, for instance, to do with as you please. Here's a perfect example of what you can do. Now, I've done this with leftover steak more often than not, but you can do this if you have a big cast iron skillet pan, which I do. You could do this all in one pan, and I highly recommend you do. If you've ever done any cooking in a wok before, you know that it all comes down to timing. You set the temperature, and the temperature does not change. It's just what you throw in and when you throw it in and how long it cooks is what makes all the difference in the world, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So in this particular case, I'm suggesting you dice up green peppers, red peppers, maybe a yellow pepper, maybe a half a cup of each, a quarter cup of each, let's go with. And then dice up a good-sized russet potato into about half-inch cubes. You don't have to, we talked about this last week when we were making hash browns, you don't have to actually soak it to get the starch out in this particular case because we're going to be cooking it really fast, okay? But the potatoes are going to be the first thing that goes into the skillet. You're also going to chop up about a half an onion, a whitey onion, a yellow onion. You want to use a Vidalia, whatever your favorite onion is. About a half a onion, medium-sized onion is what you're going to be looking at here. And again, you're dicing that. And then you want to have a couple of eggs standing by, okay? If you have some mushrooms, they go really well with this. You could do fresh mushrooms or canned mushrooms. But you want to get that heat about medium-high. You want to throw some olive oil and butter in here. Now, you can't have the heat too high if you're putting butter in there because it will brown and it will kind of ruin everything. So you want to make sure you got that heat just at the point where the butter melts, but where it doesn't burn, doesn't scald, okay? First thing you're going to put in is your potatoes, and you're going to work those around as they are browning. Then you're going to throw in peppers and onions. They cook at about the same pace. You can throw them all in at the same time. And the mushrooms are going to be the last thing to go in because they tend to cook fairly quickly. And really all you're trying to do is heat them up. You saute them a little bit, but you don't want to overdo it. Now, yeah, you want to throw some extra stuff in there? You got something else in mind, something that you think, well, what about some black olives? Sure, why not? Knock yourself out. Throw some black olives in there. Well, what if I were to use some ham chunks? Well, you can do that, but your filet mignon tender tips are going to be the show here. And this is the thing you got to be careful about, because when you throw the filet mignon tender tips in, you cannot let them overcook. You really want to get these things to about medium rare, maybe medium at most, because otherwise they're going to get chewy on you, and you can't allow that to happen. So it gets a little tricky at this point. But you should have your potatoes close to done. You should have your peppers and onions now sautéed fairly well. Your mushrooms are in there. You throw in your filet mignon tender tips, and you stir the whole thing around and let those babies cook, and then kind of shove everything off to one side of the pan and crack 2 eggs in there. And when the eggs get to the point where you could say they're, you can do them over easy if you want to, if you're good at flipping eggs under these circumstances in a cast iron skillet. Some people can't figure that out. I've done it a time or two. Sometimes I fail. It happens. That's the way it goes. But you can just let them go sunny side up if you want to. And then you can spoon everything out of that skillet onto a plate, or better yet, into a bowl or a smaller skillet, because it looks cute when you serve it in a skillet. You know, if you got one of those. And then throw these sunny side eggs on top of the whole thing. Obviously, you're going to use seasoning throughout, right? The seasonings that I like to use when I do something like this is Pilliteri's Greek seasoning. Can't go wrong with that. If you want a little bite, Pilliteri's Cajun seasoning. I have every one of these, by the way, in my spice cabinet. I've got their Italian seasoning. You can use that as well. I've got their Mexican seasoning. If Pilliteri's makes a seasoning, you can count on me having it, and generally in a fairly good supply, because I don't ever want to run out of this stuff. I also keep half gallons of their marinade in my refrigerator because it works so much better. And if you want to marinate your filet mignon tender tips in that before you throw them in, let them marinate for an hour. You know, they're not going to take a lot of that on because they are small pieces of steak when you get right down to it. But that can actually help give you a little bit more robust flavor. And then you're basically dining on one of these breakfast skillets like you would get at a Big Bad Breakfast, or that you would get at a First Watch or something like that. Don't ask me the calories on it. You don't want to know.
No, just enjoy it.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Let the eggs run down. And if you're one of these people who's like, I don't like fried eggs, make them scrambled eggs. Fine, I don't care. Poach the eggs. I don't care. But if you can get a runny yolk on there, man, it's one of the most delicious things you're ever. Now I'm going to do this for breakfast, or I wasn't going to.
Yeah, now you're
I've
like,
talked
I got to
myself
get this.
into it.
Yeah.
Huh. I hope I'm
That's what
happy.
weekends are for, Richard.
That's exactly right. Making yourself fat. There's your Mr. P's Butcher Shop and Deli grilling tip. Mr. P's is open until 6 o'clock tonight, serving sandwiches to go. They'll serve sandwiches in-house until 4. Now, remember, they're only open Tuesday through Saturday. Sometimes in the summer month, they will have a little bit of help, and they can open up on Mondays as well. But right now, it is going to be a Tuesday through Saturday thing. Make sure you get there, get in line, get some of these sandwiches, get some of their fabulous meats, get their gift boxes. They're fantastic. And don't forget, yes, Restaurant Guru still calls them the best steaks in Birmingham, and I tend to agree with them. Mr. P's Butcher Shop and Deli. You can also find their spices and their marinades for sale at places like Piggly Wiggly. I've seen them at Publix. I have not seen them at Food City, but I haven't looked, to be honest.
You're making me want to go to Mr. P's and get some fillets for the weekend.
Oh, man, yeah.
I told you I redid the innards of my grill
Yeah.
because it was all bad. And everything came in yesterday, and I put it in there, and I was like, I'm going to grill this weekend.
Now, you did this yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what was wrong? The burners?
The burners were the one thing that worked, but
Oh,
it was
okay.
all of the other
Oh, yeah.
parts,
Oh, yeah.
that cover the burners,
Right.
and they were all rusted and like some of it already fallen apart.
Oh, wow.
So pulled everything out except for the burners, made sure they worked, and then ordered all the innards.
Look at how competent you are.
Yeah, come on.
I'm very
Hey,
impressed.
YouTube and Google and Amazon are our friend, Richard.
I know.
It's awesome.
I'm the same way.
It's like I got this.
My daughter replaced a fan on the Flex that I gave her.
Good for her.
And she's like, I just learned
just did it.
because I just looked at YouTube and they showed me how to do it. I was
I
like,
mean-
that's. We were just talking about this earlier in the show, right?
It's amazing.
Learn by doing.
Just try. You know what?
Right.
If I fail,
Right.
send the parts back and go buy a new grill.
That's exactly right. But,
give it a try.
If you never try,
you just, you never
you'll
know.
never know. That's exactly right. Mr. P's Butcher Shop in Deli. Hey, Molly Robinson's going to be here next to talk about the NCAA and the NIT, where Auburn is still alive. Boy, they sure do know how to put on a show. Love me, love me, love me. Some Styx. I've seen them in concert a bunch of times, and they know what they're doing, man. 8:35, Dixon Inviting Talk 99.5 Talk 99.5.com. Thanks for hanging out with us on this beautiful Friday. Looks like it's the start of what could be a promising weekend with some rain in the forecast tomorrow in the later hours. 8:35 right now, and it's time for this. Still alive in the NIT. Auburn is going for the... Well, you can't say gold because it's the NIT. They're going for the aluminum. They're going for the
aluminum.
zinc. Going for the zinc.
What are they going for?
Auburn at the NIT.
Oh, we can drop. Can you drop? I'll drop that. Just take that screen and push it down so you can see Richard.
I can see the top of her head.
Gently.
There you go. Hi.
Hey, there you go.
It's Molly Robinson.
Molly.
We made it to Friday.
Yes, we
We
did.
got more Final Four action. You had the NIT last night.
Yep.
How exciting.
Auburn beat Illinois State.
Bad.
Crushed him.
Bad.
Drummed them pretty good from what I saw.
Yep.
20 points.
Yeah, after the first half, and it was
Two?
51-38, I was like, yeah, I think this is...
Feel like we're in good hands here.
I feel like Auburn's in good hands. Yeah.
Very nice, yeah. Beautiful. Well, of course, we've got the games in the Final Four. Are they tomorrow and Sunday? Is that correct?
So tomorrow and Monday.
Tomorrow and Monday.
Yes, the championship game is on Monday.
Okay. Oh,
So-
but both of the Final Four games take place tomorrow. Is that right? Okay.
Correct. So tomorrow, Illinois and UConn,
Gotcha.
they will play at I think their time is like 5:09 tip time, and then the second game will start. I think it's at like 7:45 or 7:49. Again, they're weird with the times.
Why are they
Yeah,
going
that's
all
weird.
random with the times? What's the story
let's just
on
pick
that?
a
Well, I
Can
think
we
it's
just
just-
round it off?
Yeah.
They
there?
used to allocate like broadcast time, and then you have all the pomp and circumstance of like, oh, the Final Four, like
Yeah.
just a lot going on.
I guess so. I don't know. We
I
love
don't
to
get
try
that.
to
But
build
two
as much
really
up
good
about this.
matchups, and not to toot my own horn, but
Yes.
I had 3 of the 4 Final Four teams in my bracket.
That's pretty good, Molly.
good.
Nice
Congratulations.
job.
So if Michigan wins, I win all of my brackets that I'm in.
And
Oh.
Because like the first 2 rounds are a little different because obviously I'm not going to remember exactly who I put because there's so many games in the first round. But my Final Four was the same pretty much throughout. I did have Duke, unfortunately, not UConn, but I did in fact have Illinois because I had Florida losing early, and then I
Guessed
had
that one.
Arizona and Michigan.
Yeah.
But I hate the way that the bracket shakes up because, I mean, Arizona, Michigan to me, and I think I talked about this, but like for me, this is the national championship.
Yeah, those two.
I mean,
Right.
2 of the best teams in the country,
and
and
one's
they
gonna
have
get-
been all year.
One's going to get knocked out.
I know.
that's-
and it just
that's
kind
too
of makes me
bad.
sad. Like I wish that these 2 were playing on Monday night and not.
So obviously, based on your bracket, you want Michigan to win.
Yes. So if Michigan wins, then I win. But there's one other person who I think has 3 of the 4 like me, just a different 3 of the 4, and they have Arizona winning.
Oh.
So basically, if Michigan wins, then I win, and if
Yeah.
Arizona wins, then that person wins. But I picked Michigan because of Yaxel Lindeborg. Loved watching him at UAB. When I worked on the Inferno podcast, he was always a guest on the show. Just such a nice, down to earth person. Like I'm pulling for Yax. I want him to cut down the nets.
Okay. We got to see that.
Do you get money if you win these brackets, or are
No,
you're just
well-
doing it
Nothing.
for fun?
It's just
In
fun.
one of them, I do,
Okay.
but in the other ones are just for funsies.
Yeah.
Yawn.
You wish now that you'd put a little money on it?
Yeah, I mean, come on. You may throw some
Well,
cash
I've
out.
never won a bracket contest before.
Yeah, well,
in my entire
Listen,
life.
this might be the first and last. I hate to say it because
No,
it's
last
rare for anybody
And I
to
kind
win
of thought
it.
maybe there
Right.
would be
It ain't
like
no
a weird
offense,
bet
Molly.
amongst you and the
Just-
Jocks crew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, we just have our bracket pool.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But-
Just.
Did you do the big thing in your room?
Do you want to see it?
Did you do it this year?
Of course I did.
Oh,
it.
okay.
Of
Yeah.
Covered up like an
course.
entire wall or
Yeah,
something.
the whole wall.
No, I will say I did move apartments.
But
But
you got
I
a bigger
had,
bigger room.
Got
yes.
a bigger wall.
Well, at first I was like, oh, I don't know where I'm gonna put this.
What'd they say about the wall when you got done with it last year? Did you have to repaint the wall? What'd you do?
No,
with
it was
that?
just painter's tape.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, look at it.
Oh my gosh.
It's actually larger than last year's.
Here, let me borrow.
Isn't
that.
it glorious?
I'm gonna put this up on.
Show that to the YouTube
Yeah, there you
people.
go.
Yeah, if you're on YouTube, you get
That's
to
a good
see
shot of it right there.
Yeah.
It's also on all of my social medias.
That is so cool.
But yeah, so this was when I first completed it during the selection show.
Uh-huh.
But I've added logos. Let me see if I have a picture of all the logos added.
Man, oh man, that's a lot of work there,
You
Molly.
put a lot of work into
Man,
this.
I'm
I
telling
did.
you, rather than scrolling your phone each night playing games, this is what Molly was doing for fun in her apartment.
Yeah, that's how I spend my weekends.
Uh-huh.
Kidding.
You're a party animal. We can tell.
You got to get out more. You
No, I
have
will
got
say-
to get out.
That's pretty cool.
I worked from the outside in. I know sometimes when I watch videos of people making them, they start with the national championship and then work
Yeah,
their way
right.
out.
Sure.
Right.
But because my wall isn't very wide,
Yeah.
it's more narrow.
So did you have to do some measuring and mathematics to make sure that that worked out okay?
Honestly, no. I eyeballed the entire thing.
Are you serious?
Very
no, I'm
impressive.
not kidding.
Yeah.
I cut
Come
out
on.
64 little like baby pieces of tape,
Mhm.
and I was like,
I think you're in the wrong business, Molly.
and then I do love Legos, so maybe that
That's
helps with
it.
that.
There you go.
That'll help.
I probably did it.
I have an engineer brain.
Uh huh. It looks like that.
Thank you. And I put like the first 4 corners, and then I made like a makeshift ruler with just a really long piece of painter's tape, and I was like, okay, well that looks right.
And
then
you
I
went
just-
from there.
Yeah, and I just went
Wow,
from there.
that's impressive.
The first round, the round of 64, that was the toughest because there's so many teams, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and you really have to make sure that they're lined up. But once you started building in, it got a lot easier. So
Well,
I can
well,
see why
good-
they
best of
build
luck.
out though, because
Yeah.
it'd be easy to run out of room. You know.
yes,
Mhm.
I don't have that luxury though.
No, you
Yeah.
have a very small, very narrow. You live in a phone booth, actually.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
we're not in New York City, you know.
Don't ask me. Ask her. She's the one who lives there.
It's a 1 bedroom.
tiny
It's
little room.
nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
1 bedroom,
Yeah. Well,
1 bedroom, 1
I've
bath.
got a little like
No
kitchen
company.
island.
Huh?
No, yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's nice.
Do you have a dining room?
Uh,
Living room, dining
yeah,
room.
living
mix?
room.
Combo, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a comp, but I
Like
eat
you-
in my living room because I don't have
do
a
you?
dining room. So
Okay.
now
I'm
that we've
just
got
curious.
Molly's
I
living
just- I
arrangements
just
all
was-
straightened
well,
out,
I'm curious.
I have a big closet though.
are you angling
you?
for
Which
a?
I need.
big
No,
closet.
I'm just.
Are you angling for an invitation?
No,
What's
no,
going
no.
on
I'm
over here? I
just
need some
wondering.
answers here.
I'm trying to think.
Invite her over for dinner.
No, it's.
Go
I'm
ahead.
good.
I'm not a very
Actually,
good
you
cook.
probably need to come to my house
Yeah.
for dinner. It sounds like.
I'm not a very good cook.
I've never been invited to her house for dinner.
Richard can
so,
cook.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I moved.
Yeah, well, you didn't invite me to your old house either.
Yeah.
Well, that's right.
Where's the show housewarming?
I mean, geez.
Show.
You had Steve over?
No, Steve's not. Well, no, I
No,
don't think
I
so.
haven't been over.
Steve's never been over.
Well,
Of course,
maybe
he never
Leland's,
been
I wasn't over to
Leland's
the
been
old
to
house either.
It hasn't
So.
been my house
I had-
either.
I had
yeah.
Leland
Yeah.
Oh,
over
I
one
see the
time.
priorities. Leland's been
Yeah.
there.
Oh, I see how
Yeah,
things
he
are.
helped to get the Harley restarted.
Uh-huh.
Well, maybe one day if I buy a house, you guys can
Yeah.
all come over and I will attempt to cook dinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Attempt to cook dinner. I like
This is after we help her move, I'm guessing.
Right.
Probably.
Something
Right
like
after that.
This
That's
would
so
be-
fun.
Think of it like a reward.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah, sure. That's,
Yeah, for
well,
helping me. And
We'll help you
Yeah.
move. We'll help you paint the place, and then
Yes.
you're going to cook us an indigestible dinner. That sounds
Yes.
wonderful. Let's
I'm not
make
a
that
good cook.
happen. I look forward to it.
We'll take a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right?
You might need that.
So the actual championship game is on Monday, so we need you to come in on Tuesday
Okay,
to talk more about this.
that's fine.
Because there's no point in having it on Monday, except that we'll know who the two teams are.
Yeah,
and as you can see, we're padding for time now. So
Either
Well,
going to be UCLA
let me go back to this
UConn
and
or
ask
Illinois.
this question because I don't know this. I know Auburn won. Did the other NIT Final Four game get played?
Yes. So last night it was not Nevada, but Tulsa and New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Tulsa, I was thinking of Nevada because they played Auburn in the last round. But yeah, so Tulsa beat New Mexico 74-69, and then
Auburn
they
versus
will
Tulsa.
play. I think their game is on Sunday
Okay.
in the NIT.
well, that makes sense.
And I don't have a line on that game right now. If you're into that sort of thing,
Well, we all really
but I
are
would assume that
excited.
Auburn would
It is
be
an
like a
IT.
decent favorite.
It's for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah,
Are you entertained?
just for funsies.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to switch gears for just a second because I want to hear what the hoopla is over on our sister station WJOX
Okay.
on Tiger Woods in this accident.
Oh man, I mean,
What's everybody saying here?
so
He's checking into rehab.
yes, and I do appreciate him coming out making a statement like I recognize that I need help with this whole situation. And then the body cam footage came out and everything, and it's just
He doesn't look good.
no, he doesn't. And the fact that he was like, oh, I was just on my phone, and then next thing I know, boom, like
Dude.
you were doing more than just on your phone.
Right.
But no, I appreciate him coming out and acknowledging what is going on, and him being like, yeah, I need to take time away, but I want to return healthier, stronger, more focused, both professionally and personally. Makes me sad though. It
Yeah,
really does. 'Cause,
it
I
is
grew up
sad.
watching Tiger.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's obvious that he is by no means do I think he's taking these pain pills for fun.
No.
That he really hurts from all the
He
surgeries
does.
and everything, the other accident he was involved
Mm-hmm.
in. Unfortunate we didn't, try to fix issues
Yeah.
there and maybe stop driving.
And I wonder if I know he said that he doesn't want to hire a driver because he
of
likes his
privacy.
privacy.
Yeah.
And you know what? I get that.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's time that you kind of just pull the
You're
plug
gonna
on
have to
that
do
and
something.
yeah.
He's cheap.
Because
Well,
it gets to a
comes down
point where your life is on the line, but other people's
Oh,
lives are on the
absolutely. It's
line.
yeah. I
And,
said
yeah.
it's not even sorry, Tiger. It's not even so much about you.
No.
What about those guys in that tow truck?
Right.
What if
What if something happened to them?
What if Trump's granddaughter had been in
But
that
in the
vehicle?
car.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
or
when the
Vanessa.
Secret Service will not let your girlfriend and her daughter ride in your car, it is
Ooh.
definitely time to do something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
and is
glad
it
that he
also
is doing
odd that it appears that he's going to be allowed, if he chooses to go overseas to seek treatment?
Yeah, the judge said he could do that.
I think yeah.
He's
That
going to
seems-
Which,
allow
as
him.
long
That
as you
seems
get the
odd to me.
judge's approval, then
Yeah, can't you get the treatment here? Or maybe it's another privacy issue.
I don't know. That's a good question.
That if you go out of the country, you can probably do it. I don't know. He's known all over the world.
Well, I'm about to say everybody knows.
Shit.
Tiger Woods.
I don't
Yeah.
know. There's no safe place for you.
He's
No.
second only behind Michael Jordan in the number and amount of money earned in his
Yeah.
career. So
That is true.
But
All right.
the video is weird though because there's all these hiccups. He's sweating
And
profusely.
he has like the thing over his head.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it was a little bit odd.
It was.
I don't know, but
Uh,
hopefully he'll get the help that he needs.
That would be lovely.
Yep.
He can return. Many people have done this, have managed to manage their chronic pain without being addicted to pain pills, or sometimes they go down that road, then they come back, as Tiger Woods is attempting to do. Let's hope that he gets it on the first swing here, rather than having to go through 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Because, like you say, you grew up watching him. I've watched him since. I'll never forget coming home. I was living in Prattville at the time, coming home, and my now ex-wife was watching the finish of the amateur golfing tournament, and she was like, I'm rooting for Tiger Woods. I'm cheering for Tiger Woods. This is great." And she's like, "Oh, look at that. Oh, he's doing great." I said, "Oh, honey, Tiger's the black one." She was like, "What?" I said, he's the black one. That can't be. It's true. Yes, they see the black guy in the red shirt. That's Tiger Woods. You're rooting for him. Oh, well, that's good. I guess he's winning. Okay, good.
She didn't watch a lot of golf.
No, clearly not.
No, did not.
All the way back, and then he went on to win the Masters that very year.
Not going to be at the Masters this year.
No.
He's done, and
neither is Phil Mickelson.
Phil is out. There's something going on there.
Hmm.
you know what's so funny about this? So literally last Friday after I did this show, and we were, Thailand, blah blah blah, whatever. I go and get a coffee, and in the drive-through line, the guy was wearing like a Masters shirt, like the guy taking my order, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so excited for the Masters! Like I love golf. It's just kicks off spring for me. That and baseball." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm really hoping to see Tiger." And then like 2 hours later,
There was the wreck.
there was the wreck.
Yeah.
So now
And
we
the
know
whole-
who to blame for
That's
Tiger's
right.
problem.
and
right.
the whole time I was just thinking like, man, I wonder how that guy's doing. Because
Not happy about
literally
that.
that morning he was like, I love Tiger. I hope, I don't think he'll make the cut, but like,
Maybe.
I hope we get to see him. And now
Nope.
maybe I'll go to that place today and be like, hey.
Check on him.
Yeah, better.
See if
Do
he's
that.
still there.
Need to do something.
Yeah.
8:48. Thank you, Molly. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you on Tuesday after both the NIT and the NCAA finals are done, and we can cheer on the winners.
Hopefully it's me.
Stick around. 8:53, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. One of the things that we don't talk about very much, it's amazing to me, I guess because Donald Trump got so much stuff done in his first year in office, a lot of stuff is slipping under the radar that we are not paying attention to. I'll tell you about it in a moment. Flipsy's Furniture, 1811 Crestwood Boulevard, and on Highway 31 in Hoover next to 2nd and Charles, right across the street from the Galleria. This is designer furniture at wholesale prices. This is a fantastic array of furniture, something at the Irondale store especially, that will suit every single kind of decor. Whatever it is you have, they're going to have something that's going to complement it, something that's going to work perfectly with it. The Hoover store is a little more Hoover-centric, and it's going to fit, your Hoover decor for sure. You should go check it out. But both places do have designer furniture at wholesale prices. Both places do have 12 months same as cash. Both places have that white glove delivery, which I highly recommend. And the nicest people on the planet. They're not pushy. They're not going to pester you. They don't even hover. They just say, I'll be over here if you need any help. Go take a look around, because really when you walk into Flipsy's, the furniture sells itself. It's that beautiful. It's that gorgeous. Flipsy'sFurniture.com, Flipsy'sFurniture.com. You can find them at 1811 Crestwood Boulevard in Irondale, or right there on Highway 31 in Hoover across from the Galleria next to 2nd and Charles. We don't talk enough about, the lowering of the crime rate, and Donald Trump did give Pam Bondi props for that. Mm-hmm. DOGE, many people looked at as a failure, but if you look at it as just the start of an attempt to uncover, do you realize that estimates right now in terms of fraud that has been taxing the American government ranges to about $500 billion? $5 billion a year in fraud.
That, yeah.
And that is something that nobody has looked into, nobody's attempted to look into, nobody's really cared about. Somehow the Trump administration is the one that said, maybe we should be taking a good long look at this. And we're beginning to find more and more that there's strong evidence that Walz and Ellison up in Minnesota knew about this fraud and did nothing about it, because they didn't want to upset the Somali community, because that was a built-in voting base.
That was their votes.
Built-in voting base. They're like, let them go ahead and steal billions.
That makes sense that they didn't want to do that, even though it was wrong, even though you're stealing, that you're a part of this entire scheme.
Well,
it's catching up.
They didn't want to come across as racist.
Whatever.
Yeah. But
what's racist about? Just somebody explain that to me. What's You're stealing money from the American taxpayer. You are robbing us.
Ain't nothing racist about it.
You come into our country, everything is available to you. Welcome to the country. And then you take advantage of a system and you do the end around to steal money from us? Mm-hmm. No, that's not racist. There's nothing racist about that.
I agree.
You're just a flat-out criminal for doing that.
And yet that's the first place that you could expect them to go. And
well, yeah, because that's their only argument.
That's exactly.
If we scream racism, it's racist. No, it's not racist. Explain to me how that's racist.
Yeah, you're criminals. That's what it comes down to.
Exactly.
You're criminals. So if we could clean up this much fraud, and I don't know that you can get it all, but this is what we know about between California, and Minnesota, and the similar scams that are taking place in other states. If we could clean that up, you literally are cutting your deficit in more than half at that point.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
I will take that.
And then you look back and you go, well, how many years has this been going on, and how much of our deficits and our debt is built around this?
If we really did a deep dive on it, it probably is more than half. It might be, yeah. Think of the better situation we would be in right now if we had known that and didn't allow it to happen. And that's why you have these leaders in these states, but they're not leading. They're closing their eyes. They're letting it happen.
Sure.
Gavin Newsom, you're just as guilty in California.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, $24 billion spent to alleviate homelessness. Homelessness is worse than ever, and he refuses to allow there to be any sort of investigation into what happened with the money.
Well, he may not have a choice here pretty soon.
Yeah, he may not.
Yeah.
Moscow is sending another oil tanker to Cuba, according to the Russian energy minister. Now, there are folks out there who are like, see, Donald Trump can't stop Russia. Donald Trump is acting like a big guy, but he doesn't have the power to stop Russia from sending tankers over there, and he doesn't control the situation. I don't know if you noticed or not. He's a little tied up.
Got a lot on his plate right now.
There does come a time where you go, you know what? We're going to have to prioritize here. And right now, the priority is getting to the end of this war in Iran. Get that finished, done, get the Straits of Hormuz open, and get oil prices back down where they need to be.
Yeah.
And then we'll worry about Russia and oil tankers going to Cuba. But that is another thing. He's moving so fast, and he's put so much stuff on his plate, and he does a lot of stuff simultaneously. People forget, he ended the war in Gaza. And that wasn't like happenstance. You can find all over YouTube and all over various news sources everybody involved in that saying, if it wasn't for Donald Trump, this wouldn't be happening.
It'd still be going on.
He's the reason that this thing is over. We don't hear that much out of what's going on between Russia and Ukraine, but obviously they're still going at it hammer and tongs. But Donald Trump has managed to stop several other skirmishes around the globe as well. And sometimes, piling your plate that high, you do have to say, well, where's the pork chop? I'm going to eat the pork chop now. I want to get to the pork chop.
Well, too, and everything that, is going on with NATO, the talk about maybe getting out of NATO because our allies, we're supposed to be there and support one another in hard times and in war times. And now the president is like, you know what? We've been paying all this money into NATO, and this is what we get out of it? Nothing. We got goose egg for all the money that we contributed to NATO.
Still strikes me as a head fake. I'm not sure.
Be.
Because I think they're looking at going, you don't want to remove your bases from over here.
No, but
we don't want to.
Let them think that that's a possibility, and that Donald Trump, if you make him mad enough, that he just might start doing that.
He's
maybe some of them.
Really good at that.
Yeah, he is.
He's really good at that, and I wouldn't be surprised if before too long we end up with some NATO cooperation on that front. Some have already said that they're going to help. We'll see how the rest of them come along. Spain and Italy need to get with the program, kids. They need to get with the program. The last thing you want is to be in desperate need and for the United States to go, I don't think so. Because we've always been a generous and very giving country. And if you're depending upon us and we decide we don't feel like helping you, there's not a whole lot of other places to go. We're kind of the first national bank of the United States,
Yeah.
9 o'clock, Dixon Divine.